We're back, CBS Mornings Plus, and by the way, it is not election season. There's no general election going on, nothing national, and yet we are talking about an election right now because more than $80 million has been spent on a state Supreme Court race between people who, folks who went to law school with these people probably don't remember them, never heard of them, they would say. And we're covering it here because one of the people spending big, there's multiple billionaires involved, one of them is Elon Musk. His presence has helped turn this race, which has some big political implications, that is true, for the state of Wisconsin, into a test of, well, it's been framed as Elon's money versus liberal anger. At a rally last night, Elon Musk himself gave two voters $1 million checks that he says were payment for them acting as spokespeople for his petition, which involves language like you support judges reading the Constitution as is and not adding their own interpretation. So opposing activist judges there. That's a quote from the petition. Musk is not the only one spending big here in Wisconsin's officially, technically nonpartisan, but no one's fooled race for just one Supreme Court seat in that state. Brad Shamul. Like I said, people don't know who these folks are. He's received about $46 million of donations, including from Musk. Meanwhile, his opponent, Susan Crawford, has raised about $36 million, including donations from prominent Democratic backers George Soros, he's a billionaire, and Illinois Governor J.D. Pritzker, another billionaire. So if you do the math overall, tomorrow's election will be the most expensive judicial race in American history.
And joining us now to explain why so much money is being thrown at this election and some of the concerns that this is creating is the executive director of Common Cause Wisconsin, Jay Heck. Jay, thank you so much for joining us. Your organization is a pro-democracy, bipartisan watchdog group. So Elon Musk has called this state Supreme Court race something that will potentially affect the entire destiny of humanity, that he also says will help determine who controls the U.S. House of Representatives in Washington, D.C. Why is he making these claims? Why does he view this election as so critical?
Well, good morning from Madison, Wisconsin. It's a brisk 30 degrees today. We haven't put our snow shovels away. We'll see how that affects turnout tomorrow. I think it's going to be very robust. And in part, it is because Elon Musk has made himself a central issue in Wisconsin. $80 million, it'll probably be $100 million before it's all said and done, of which $20 million Musk himself has put into the race. In addition, as you referenced, he's made awards of $1 million to two people who have signed his petition, and he's paying people $100 apiece to sign his petition. So he is injecting himself into a state Supreme Court election, which, 20 years ago, when I started at Common Cause, would have been maybe $500,000, a nonpartisan race. And this has turned into a national referendum on Elon Musk and really the beginning of the Trump administration. With all of this ridiculous amount of money that's been poured into the race.
But Jay, why is Musk investing so much money? Why does he feel that this race is so important to the country nationally?
Well, this is the first national barometer since November of 2024. And people have a very strong sense of what Musk himself is doing with Doge, and slicing and eliminating thousands of federal employees, possibly cutting benefits for people. And so the fact that he has injected himself into the race, he even said yesterday in Green Bay that the reason he's there to present these $1 million checks is to focus attention on Wisconsin. Now, what does it mean? Wisconsin is the swingiest, most closely divided of probably all of the states in the country. Trump won this state by 29,000 votes out of 3.5 million cast last year, and Biden won it by 20,000 in 2020. So it's going to be a very close election. Every vote's going to matter, and he's here to try to tip the scale in Schimmel, the conservatives' behalf.
Jay, you guys are a pro-democracy organization. You want people to take seriously their right to vote, exercise their right to vote. Isn't all of this money a good thing in terms of creating excitement and driving turnout. I mean, people are paying attention to a race that we definitely would not be talking about if it weren't a contest of billionaires' anger and Elon Musk.
Tony, you cannot turn your television on, your computer on, or even look at your phone without some negative ad from one side or the other inundating you. I would say that a little money is useful, but $100 million is overkill. And the question I think people are going to have in Wisconsin is whether they resent this outside, unprecedented interference of zillionaire money coming into the state to influence the outcome of our election, a state election in Wisconsin. And Musk, by far, has poured the most money in. Yes, there's millionaire money supporting the progressive candidate, but it's nothing on the scale that Elon Musk is spending. And again, he has made himself an issue in this campaign. And I think a lot of people are motivated on both sides to turn out and render their verdict as to whether this is a healthy, good thing for our state.
You know, he did something similar in Pennsylvania ahead of the general election last fall. The judge there in Pennsylvania said he was not convinced it was an illegal lottery. He let it happen. The judges there, two courts, I believe, have said, okay, this is fine. And then the Supreme Court didn't take it up there in Wisconsin. What does that tell you? I guess this is all legal.
Well, judges are very reluctant to weigh in at the last moment and render a judgment that could affect the outcome of the election. So I suspect we'll see some litigation continuing. But I think what it means basically is that people are going to have to judge for themselves whether this is a wise use of millions of dollars and in resources to try to influence the outcome of the election. It may be legal, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it's right. And again, I think a lot of people on both sides are going to weigh in. I think probably on the conservative side, people welcome this money. But on the other side, I think people are resentful of this outside interference. We'll see tomorrow. It's expected to be very close. My guess is that the election will be won or lost at the margins. It's all a matter of turnout. Early voting is through the roof in Wisconsin, and that's both in blue counties and in red counties. So my guess is that it's going to be a very, very tight election, and we likely won't know until the very early morning hours of Wednesday.
As it often is, so tight in Wisconsin. I used to cover Wisconsin, and so I know that you and your fellow Wisconsinites take your responsibility to vote very seriously, and even if it's 0 degrees, you'll get out there. So Jay Heck, thank you so much. Stay warm.
Thank
Happy
you, Jay.
spring.
It's 30, yeah. Here's spring's on the way, Jay.